Warren found an empty locker which was located right against this wall over here in the northeast corner of the building. The locker itself sat right about here. And what we did is we took, they had louvers on the locker, in the top and in the bottom. We took a bar and we pried these upper louvers open in such a way that you could take a fistful of marbles, slap them against the louver, and shove the marbles in through that opening, and they would rattle down into the bottom. Well, we started putting marbles in this locker beginning in January. We even sat down at the end of the lunch lines in the cafeteria openly collecting pennies for marbles. Then we would take this money, we'd go to G.C. Murphy's or wherever we could find them, and we would buy bags of marbles and come up here between classes and take a fistful of them and slap them into the locker, and they'd rattle down to the bottom. In February, in March, in April, in May, the word got around to all of our classmates in the freshman, sophomore, junior classes. They were stealing marbles from their little brothers and sisters, and they were bringing them. Lots of people knew where the locker was, and they'd come in and they'd slap them in there, and they'd rattle down to the bottom. And after 5 months of collecting marbles, we estimated that we had it was about this deep with marbles. But we began to suspect that the administration, after all this time, was beginning to get wise to what we were going to do. They didn't know where the locker was, but we thought they were going to zero in on us. And so we decided that the earliest that we could let them go, the better. So we decided that on a Monday morning, in I think about mid-May, I can't remember the exact date, but about mid-May is correct, that early Monday morning we would let them go. Okay, try to remember what it was like back when we were going to high school. Prior to 8 o'clock, you could come to school and stand around on the first floor, but there were gates that prevented you from going to the upper floors prior to 8 o'clock. Now, several of us, like the senior class president, the junior class president, and myself, we all had passes because we were teachers' assistants or worked at the school radio station or the newspaper, something like that. The passes allowed us to get past the gates and upstairs prior to 8 o'clock. So all the people that you see in this video now all had passes, and we were all upstairs on the third floor waiting to open this locker right at 8 o'clock. Now, you'll remember that at 8 o'clock, they would open these gates, and then all the students would rush up these stairs, go to their lockers, and drop off their books and get ready for their first class, which began at 8:15. So we were killing time in that classroom prior to 8 o'clock. And right before we wanted this marble thing to get started, we came out of that classroom and we were standing around in the hallway waiting for that 8 o'clock bell to ring, when this teacher came around the corner and looked at this assembled group of people and cameras and said, "What in the heck is going on here? You fellas shouldn't be up here at this time of the day." And it's my recollection that without hesitating, Tom Hewlin walked over and said, "Well, excuse us, but this is a Key Club Clean Up Your Locker campaign." And the teacher who was standing right about here said, "Oh, that makes sense," and began to walk away just as the bell rang. Warren opens the locker, our cameras twist around, just catch the marbles beginning to come out on the floor. The marbles fanned out across this hard agate floor just like we thought. Some of them went down the north hallway there, some of them went down the south hallway here, some of them shot across the floor and right towards the stairway, just as hundreds of kids started pounding up the stairs. Maybe you'll recall now where you were when the marble incident happened.